In today's video, we'll go over 5 marketing stunts for video games that went terribly wrong. There's a bunch of different reasons why these marketing stunts are notorious, but the common denominator is that there were not a single individual with a say in these promotions who used their brain at any point during the planning or execution of the events. Just another day in the circus that is the games industry. So in 2010, Tom Clancy's Splinter Conviction was scheduled to release, and in order to promote the upcoming stealth game, Ubisoft Montreal did what any sane company would do. They hired a person to cosplay a character from the game and take a stroll down the pub district in Auckland, New Zealand. So what was he dressed like? An alien? A dog? A grown man in a furry suit? No. He was dressed like a completely normal man with bandages on his hand carrying a gun. This guy went up to pubgoers and pointed the gun around at the unsuspecting people in the area, and naturally the police was called, and luckily for the actor this happened in New Zealand, so he wasn't shot on sight. The promoters said that they had no idea a gun was going to be used and that it wasn't an attempt to get the cops around and get exposure that way. They claimed that it was just marketing gone wrong, that's their words, sounding exactly like an early 2010s prank YouTuber, but I guess they got their exposure in the end. The next game is Resident Evil 6, which is a horror game that was released in October of 2012, and in order to promote the game, Capcom opened up a pop-up butchery in London called Wesker & Son, a name taken from the game. So what did they sell? Really good bacon? No, the meat that they sold was designed to look like human body parts. So customers could buy products like peppered human and lemon sausages and Havocort human thigh steaks. On the surface, the idea seems cool, and they even donated the proceeds of the meat sale to a UK non-profit organization called Limbless Association, which helps amputees. However, the butchery turned out to be too disturbing for people, especially considering most people probably didn't even realize what it was for, so Capcom had to close down the shop after just one weekend. The third game is Shadow Man's Second Coming, which is a horror game from 2002, published by Acclaim Entertainment. And if you hadn't heard of that game, don't worry, I hadn't either. Acclaim Entertainment is previously known from offering to pay UK citizens speeding tickets to promote their upcoming game Burnout 2 Point of Impact, essentially promoting reckless driving in public in the process. But for Shadow Man, they took a way more bizarre approach because they wanted to advertise the game on gravestones. So they announced that they would pay for any interested UK-based family's gravestones in return for having a small billboard posted on the family member's grave. I don't know who came up with this, but it's just not it, man. They went as far as to state how beneficial it would be for poorer families, which is true because gravestones are stupidly expensive, but I mean, come on, man. Although this bears a very close resemblance to a marketing move by Nathan For You, so now I finally know where he got it from at least.
So I would think the best place for you to advertise would be at a pet cemetery.
Oh, that could be.
The problem is most pet cemeteries don't allow advertisements.
Right.
But there's no law about what you're allowed to put on a gravestone.
Pardon?
And truth be told, Acclaim Entertainment may have been visionaries and just too ahead of their time, because in 2019 a young boy from the UK died of a rare genetical disease, and his parents wanted to honor his legacy by putting Spider-Man on his tombstone. So this is kind of the reverse. Naturally, Disney said fuck that and refused to give the family permission to use it, only further solidifying that Disney is allegedly not for the kids and is allegedly an inherently evil company. In 2011, the FPS game Homefront was released. Homefront is a game set in a not so distant future in a dystopian USA, where North Korea successfully reunites with South Korea and invades the United States. The game was controversial for its content and was banned in South Korea for implying unified Korea, and censored in Japan, where every North Korean reference was renamed a certain country to the north. In an attempt to promote the game, the publisher THQ decided to release 10,000 red balloons near San Francisco as a guerrilla marketing stunt. As any sane individual would have figured out already, this didn't go well over with the local environmental groups because, well, all of the balloons had to come down at some point and they ended up flooding the San Francisco Bay with plastic. If only previous incidents, including balloons, could have deterred this, marketing stunts such as, I don't know, Balloon Fest in 1986, where Cleveland was flooded with balloons, eventually causing millions of dollars in damages, and also inadvertently killing some fishermen whose boat had capsized, but the Coast Guard was unable to see them in the water because it was full of fucking balloons. Well, the last game in this video is also a product of not learning from your history, as Ubisoft Montreal has so beautifully portrayed. Watch Dogs is an action stealth game that was released in 2014 where you played as a hacker in Chicago. The game was notorious at release because footage surfaced of the differences between the tech demo shown before release and the watered down version that eventually released. It was also riddled with bugs, but despite the controversies it still received 2 sequels and sold millions of copies. Anyways, one thing that didn't help their sales was the guerrilla marketing stunt they did in 2014 in Australia. I don't know what it is about Ubisoft Montreal, but they really do not like to see the people in Oceania living in peace. The marketing team sent a black safe to a news website in Australia called 9MSN, alongside a suspicious letter telling reporters to check their voicemail. It turned out that not only had none of the reporters received any voicemails, the attached pin code to the safe didn't even work, which led the company to send home all their staff and call the bomb squad to safely open the safe. So what was in the box? A copy of Watch Dogs, a baseball cap, a beanie, and a note about the game's embargo, which is sort of the legal agreement between reviewers and the game company. Ubisoft had to apologize for sending the wrong pin code, not leaving any voicemails, and for sending a suspicious package with literally no indication that it wasn't a bomb from a deranged psycho. So those were a few of the terrible marketing stunts that game companies have thought of over the years. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing, or even sharing it with your friends. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.